we're back. Today is a special day in which we honor all mothers. Now, having said that, I'd like to wish each of you mothers a happy Mother's Day. As I prepared this episode, I found myself drawn to two incidents that were extremely both controversial and adversarial in nature. But they both implicated what I want to talk about today, the power of motherhood. The first incident was the death of George Floyd, because he died calling out to his mother. The second was the death of Tyree Nicholas. He was running to his mother for safety when he lost his life. Now, regardless of where you stand concerning the circumstances surrounding the death of these two young men, one thing is obvious, my friend, and that is they both felt that their mothers could have made a difference. And that, my friend, is what I call the power of motherhood. You see, at 6 months of age, I was adopted by my loving grandmother, Mrs. Annie Lee Way, who became the only mother that I ever knew. There was just something about my mother that calmed my fears and spoke peace to my heart as I navigated life as a young person in the South. My grandmother always demonstrated the power of motherhood. Maya Angelou wrote a chapter in her book, The Phenomenal Woman, called Our Grandmothers, and I'd like to quote an excerpt. I quote, "She muttered, lifting her head, a nod toward freedom. I should not be moved." This statement epitomizes the life and actions of my grandmother, who stood alone in insurmountable family challenges and emerged victoriously. This, my friend, again, was the power of motherhood. Once my grandmother took me to a cotton field and explained to me what it was like for her mother and her grandmother growing up. She then handed me a piece of cotton that pricked my hands, and I said to her, "Mom, that hurts." She replied, "I know, but it's honest labor." Not only was she instilling in me strong work ethics, but she was displaying the power of motherhood. There's a story in the Old Testament in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 19. It's about a young child who was out in the field with his father, who suddenly said to his dad, my head hurts." The father said to one of the workers, "Carry him to his mother." It is reported that the child sat on his mother's knees and died at noon that day. We're told that mother refused the fate of her son. Instead, she took the child and placed him upstairs on a guest bed, or the guest bed of her friend, who happened to have been a preacher. And then she sought after this preacher. She wanted to solicit prayer because she refused to lose her son. Others around her said to her, "What are you doing? You're wasting your time. You'll never find the preacher." But something amazing happened. We're told that this mother, who defied all odds, said to them, "My son is going to be okay." We're told that later that day, that defiant mother who would not give up on her child had him restored to life. My friend, this is the power of motherhood. And again, happy Mother's Day.